Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, today we're gonna do an in-depth review of the patch notes for update 63 in Asphalt 8. That's right, I finally have access to the patch notes and we're gonna check what every single point means for the game. On the background you will be able to see some races I did with the BXR Bailey Special Edition. And I promise, these races were not cherry-picked, I just was really lucky and got a bunch of W's, but don't worry about it. Now, if you just want to read the patch notes without any sort of analysis, the link is in the description for you to check the PDF file. So, let's start this up. The very first thing that it says is the introduction, and it reads, "Greeting racers, a decade of heart-pounding races, adrenaline-fueled moments, and unforgettable memories. We're thrilled to celebrate 10 incredible years of Asphalt 8 Airborne with you. As we approach this milestone, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering support, passion, and dedication to the Asphalt community. Update 63 is a tribute to the journey we've taken together. From exhilarating races to the fierce competitions, you've made Asphalt 8 more than just a game. You've made it a thriving community of racers from around the world. Thank you for the thrilling rides, the unforgettable victories, and the friendships that have formed on the virtual tracks. Here's to the next lap of excitement, innovation, and the joy of racing together. Let's dive into the details of what this update brings." And as much as I want to jump into the details of the patch itself, I think it's worth mentioning or acknowledging the fact that that's a nice introduction, the acknowledgement of this community for this game that has been alive for 10 years, which is pretty long for a mobile game. So hey, here's to 10 years of Asphalt 8. But anyway. Number 1. Girl power in Asphalt 8. Now I'm gonna skip the introduction text and I'm gonna go straight into the bullet points because I think that's a bit faster. It says, "We've added a wide range of female avatar versions of most existing avatars. Buying an avatar will now unlock both a male and a female version for the player." Now this is interesting because it means that for a lot of the existing avatars in the game, they had to create a second version, which obviously is meant to look more like a girl. Now, I don't have access to this, I only have the patch notes, so I haven't seen how all of this looks, but I want to imagine that they put some effort into adjusting the models so that it looks more like a female, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, it's gonna be a bit of a question to see which of the existing avatars didn't get a female version. I imagine the most complex one will be the ones that really won't have one, but we have to see. The other part is here where it says, "Meet Diva, our new mascot with an incredible style and flashy personality. You'll find out more about her on our brand new Instagram page. But no worries, we can have a sneak peek at what she looks like." And honestly, I think the design is pretty nice, and I'm sure a lot of girls will be very happy to finally have some female avatars, and a bunch of guys will also be using female avatars because why not? Number 2 reads, "New vehicles is speeding your way." And you'll notice that I redacted one, don't worry, I'll talk about it in 30 seconds, but I want to focus on these other 4 cars that you see on the screen now. The Koenigsegg CC850 at the right, the Faraday Future FF91 2.0 Future is the SUV at the left, the Bram BT62, that beauty with the big wing, and the Chevrolet Camaro ZL 50th Anniversary Edition, the one pretty much in the center. Nice cars, I really like the look of the Bram, but the one that I skipped, it's this one. The wait is over and the thrill is here. Introducing the Dodge Dart X Edition, which I'm unsure if it's supposed to be read as 10 edition, whatever. Join us in a 10-day special event and conquer this beauty for yourself. Make sure not to miss a day. And man, this sounds interesting, but yeah, that's what the car looks like. For number 3, it reads, "Animated decals for stylish customization." Animated decals are captivating visual elements that enhance the aesthetic appeal of your vehicles, taking your customization options to the next level. Update 63 also brings an array of new stunning static decals, which means obviously that there's gonna be some decals where you're gonna see some animations, which is something that we kinda have seen already in the Renault something, the electric one with the big wing. Yeah, it has this animation, so I imagine it's gonna be something relatively similar where you're gonna see some movement in them. It promises to look cool, but we actually have to see the decals so far. I have no access to that, so who knows? I hope they're good. Next up, special event improvements. We've been hard at work listening to your feedback and making your special events experience even more seamless and engaging. For the enhancement, it says, an enhanced notification system that ensures notifications guide you all the way to the entry point of each special event. Honestly, I have zero idea what any of that means. It just sounds like there's gonna be some sort of notification that will tell you, hey, now you gotta go into the special event to do something, alright? But I really don't know, I have no idea. The next one, however, sounds interesting to me. It says, you can now track special event conditions both in the action phase and the pause menu screen. Now, I wish they were to explain that the action phase they're talking about means the race itself. So basically what they're saying is that now you're gonna be able to see like a pin message as you're racing, telling you what are the objectives that you need to complete. For example, if you need to do 1,000 meters of drift, it's gonna be there so that you can track how much you've made progress on that. So again, that's gonna be on the race screen and also in the pause menu. So I think that's pretty cool because I can tell you, I constantly forget what I was supposed to do. So I really like this idea. Next up, it says the number of stars for unlocking events have been reduced from 110 to 10, which means players that don't have a lot of stars from career now can access the special events at only having 10 stars. So that's quick access. Not that that's gonna help them very much, because in regular events they're still gonna need a bunch of cars. The variety of conditions on the track have been increased, and I think what they mean by that is that you know how a lot of the conditions were just do some drift and do some flat spins? I think now they're gonna mix it up a little bit more, maybe with more knockdowns, doing some destruction of objects in the track, you know, a bunch of different objectives, and I think that's interesting to keep it varied. Various captivating animations have been adding to celebrate your achievements within the stages of the special event hub. And I think it just means some flashy lights and effects here to tell you, ooh, you achieved this, congratulations, nothing else. So it's basically just a visual thing in the special event itself. We've polished the interaction between special events and other sections of the game, providing smoother redirections between rewards and special events themselves. So yeah, this is a navigation thing. I cannot comment on it because I haven't seen it, but I guess it improved. Number 5. Racing Pass and Car Hunt adjustments. The Racing Pass and the Car Hunt are getting a boost in Update 63. Here's what's new. And this is a tongue twister, so bear with me. For time-limited events and special events, Premium Racing Pass and Premium Plus Racing Pass holders will enjoy increased fuel limits upon purchase. And what this means, from what I understand, is that so long as you own the Racing Pass, you're gonna have additional fuel for doing TLEs. You may or may not have noticed that now the Car Hunt Cup costs 3 fuel. So I guess by making it more expensive in that sense, it incentivizes you to get the Racing Pass and get more fuel to do that and any of the other tasks in the game. Whether this is a good or a bad thing, that's very subjective, but what's interesting to me is the next point that says car hunts will now contain 3 cars instead of 2, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how it is implemented. If the additional car is on the free lane, that's a good thing, but if it's in the free lane and it's on tier 50, that's a bad thing because nobody will be able to get it naturally. So I don't know, I cannot make much of a judgment on this. It sounds interesting, but let's see how it's actually done to determine if it's a good or a bad thing. Now for the meat and potatoes of the anniversary, 10th anniversary Racing Pass and Treasure Rush. Celebrate Asphalt 8 10th anniversary with style. 10th anniversary Racing Pass with exclusive Dash Diva avatar and the stunning McLaren 720S GT3X will be available starting on August the 15th. And well, there's not much that I can say about this without knowing what else is in the Racing Pass, but I'd imagine it's just the car and the avatar. So whether or not you think that is worth it for the price that they will ask for, I imagine it was going to be the same price for $10. That remains to be seen. I hope that it has some other rewards to still make it enticing, but we'll see. The next point says, get ready for the Treasure Rush events featuring the Koenigsegg CC850 in Ultimate Class starting from August 24th and the Koenigsegg Regera in S-Class starting from September 21st. Now, the Koenigsegg CC850 in Ultimate Class, I think what they mean is Class S being an ultimate car. It's not confirmed, but that's what I understand from this. And Treasure Rush, well, you know how it works. You need to be super lucky to unlock it or pay a whole lot of money to get it. So there's that. What puzzles me is the point about the Koenigsegg Regera also in a Treasure Rush. But the Regera was a considerably common car and now it's on a Treasure Rush. I don't know, I'm not convinced about it. That doesn't seem worthwhile to me. Unless the Treasure Rush, it's not only focused on that car but also has some really good rewards overall, but just having that particular car as the main reward for a Treasure Rush, it just seems weird to me. Now the next one, it's a weird one. It's the relay offers, and if you want to read the bullet points that are there on the screen, you can pause it to check them out, but I'm just gonna give you the general idea behind them. The relay offers, it's a new tab in the store in which they're gonna give you these specific offers that are sequential purchases. By that I mean that you buy one of these, let's say that they offer you something that it's useful to you, and upon purchasing the first one, it's gonna unlock a second one, which in theory it's a better value. You buy the second one, it unlocks a third one, which has an even better value. Now obviously we don't actually know what these offers are gonna be, we don't know how much it's gonna cost, but what I find interesting is what it says over there in the progression boost on the 4th bullet point. It says, each offer in the chain is carefully curated to aid your progression in the game. Whether it's powerful items, rare resources, or special boosts, these offers are strategically designed to help you advance and achieve your in-game goals faster and more effectively. Which is to say, simply, that it's subjective type of purchases. It changes from subject to subject. Now, I don't know how the game will determine this, but it's probably be a case where if the game detects that you have been upgrading this car and you're missing some resources, it's gonna give you an offer related to that particular car. Maybe some kits, maybe some fusion coins, maybe some wildcards, who knows? I really don't know, and since there's no more information, and again, this is gonna be subjective, I have no idea. This sounds interesting, but if it's purchases only for money, obviously all of the free-to-play players are gonna be completely uninterested on this, but for the people that are willing to spend a little bit of money, hopefully if this isn't super expensive, this might be interesting. Let's hope that it is good. I do wonder if maybe after enough purchases, because it does mention over the discounts, and I wonder if they mean the discount coupons where the cost for upgrading a car is 50% lower. So, I don't know, maybe that could be one of those things. Now the next one, it's other adjustments still within the shop. And the first 3 bullet points are all about just changing or improving the UI for the general store and the assets and whatnot. So basically this just means it's gonna look prettier and hopefully clearer to read. And the last one is the one that I find the most interesting. You can now preview the decals and avatars from the shop's bundle before purchase, which is great. Because for example, the decals for the Lamborghinis in this previous season, only the Diablo was really clear to me what it looked like, and that's why I purchased it. But the one for the Huracan and also for the Sterrato, I don't know, I couldn't really figure them out, and I wasn't gonna just spend money to find it that it was a decal that I didn't like. So the fact that you can preview them now, it's a good thing. Now for the moment that everybody has been waiting for, the rebalances of cars. Now over here I just summarized it so that you can see which car it is and from which rank to which rank it got increased, like the ED Design Torque from 1496 to 1498, the Mercedes SL 65 from 1505 to 1590, the Viper from 1530 to 1590, so on and so forth. The SLS AMG Coupe Black Series, the Ferrari GTC4 Lusso, McLaren P1, and the 675 LT. So I just removed all the other text where it says it went from this speed to that speed and the nitro from this to that, because generally speaking you know that they're gonna be relatively competitive and we don't really know how good or bad the acceleration actually is gonna be. So who knows? The point is, there's one more cut that I did want to talk about, and that is the Hennessy Venom GT. Now for this one, I did keep the information on the top speed and the nitro because that matters. You can see that the car went from 1762 to 1860, and while it doesn't mention it over here, you can kind of figure out by the top speed change that it got made into an ultimate car. Unlike the SEC2 Atara on the previous patch that was made into an ultimate, but it kept the same ratio of top speed versus nitro speed, this one you can see that the top speed, the raw top speed, went really high, which is a telltale sign of an ultimate car, and the nitro it's very low. You can see this type of situations with cars like the Koenigsegg Jesko or the Bolide, things like that. I'm not saying that this car is gonna perform as good as those, I wouldn't expect that, but I think you know what I mean with this whole thing of the speed. So this is an interesting change, so for any of the old school players that own this car, this is happy days. And the last point, other notes and bug fixes. Celebrating our 10th anniversary, starting from August 15, players will receive valuable daily prizes. Be sure to log in every day so you don't miss out. Now this is basically what they have been doing in previous anniversaries, where once the whole thing begins you need to log in every single day, it'll give you a reward for doing so, and obviously the last reward is in theory gonna be the best. But I don't think that this is the Dodge Dart, since that one is mentioned as a special event, so I think these two things are different, but we don't know. Next point says, branded weekly PvP TLEs, which brings a more diverse and fun player experience and an opportunity to obtain rewards and purchase great cars for a good value each week. This whole thing sounds like the TLE that happens during the weekends, in which you can play against other players with Class S cars that you may or may not own. I think it's something similar to that, and it makes a mention to purchasing great cars for a good value. So I think that whatever are going to be the cars featured in a particular event, those are also going to be on sale on the store, so maybe you can purchase it with money if you want that particular car. I think that's what it means, but honestly, who knows? And those were the full patch notes for Update 63. Remember that if you want to read them yourself, the link is in the description, and if it's not there, it will be as soon as Gameloft makes the link available to the public. Given the mention that events will be happening starting on August 15th, it's safe to assume the patch will drop either that day or the day before, so be on the lookout for it. In general, I think it's clear that there's some interesting stuff coming, namely all 5 new cars, including the highly anticipated Dodge Dart Special Edition, or whatever it's called here, along with the female avatars, which I imagine must have taken a lot of work to adapt. And of course, we'll see what other changes were made that were not mentioned in the notes themselves. You know that there are sometimes sneaky ones that make themselves apparent later down the road. The changes to the special events are mostly cosmetic, but having the missions pinned in the screen as you're doing the races sounds like an absolute W if you ask me. As far as the racing pass, as usual, it really only means anything for people willing to pay for it, but if you like the Diva avatar, then go for it. The treasure rush, however, as usual, is something that I'm not super hyped about. Too much RNG for my taste, though the direct upgrades are always welcome. When it comes to the relay offers, I have no clue. They could be great or they could be pretty bad. It depends on pricing and the content of them. But again, it's mostly for people willing to spend some cash in the game. And finally, I gotta admit, I was hoping for the long-awaited rebalance of the last 2 Lambos, the Sesto Elemento and the Terzo Millennio. If it has taken this long, I hope it means that the rebalance will make them great. Though I am happy we finally get to drive a competitive Dodge Viper. The rest of the rebalances, well, I have no clue since I don't drive any of those cars. Now let me know in the comments what's the part that got you the most interested and which is the worst, preferably from an angle other than too much pay to win. I get trolled when you say that, but that's like saying the sun is hot. Anyway, that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit the like button and all of that good stuff. But that's gonna do it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.